have equity in that deal. So whenever that property sells, you will get that original investment back.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Millionaire Mafia. I got to thinking of this video. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, but yesterday I honestly just took the day off, and the reason I took it off was because of something that is prevalent in any business and can definitely affect any and all entrepreneurs to some extent at any time, right? And it affects us all differently, and that is the stress that occurs just from owning and operating a business. Now, I wasn't stressed out in that I was like, oh no, the walls are falling in and you know, sky's falling. It was just, you know, we've been really busy in a good way with our real estate companies, flipping properties, getting properties ready for rentals, buying an RV park, turning around a couple or mobile home parks and apartment complex up, you know, almost 1,000 miles away. And, you know, we also coach all of our kids soccer. We've had triathlons that we've been going to, family events, trying to get out fishing once in a while. You know, we've been busy. So that's called, you know, cumulative stress. It's not that it's bad. Stress is good, and it's okay to have that. It just builds up. So it's natural. It's not going to go away. If you have no stress in your life, you're dead. All right. So we need some stress. It's just a matter of how can we manage that stress, and how can we prevent the unhealthy stress as much as possible in our business. And that's what I'm here to talk to you guys about today. So I got 4 tips that have helped me massively in my business and things that I do, as well as my partners, to make sure that we are as efficient as possible and that we essentially de-stress our business to the max extent practical. Tip 1. Hire a bookkeeper. If you don't have a bookkeeper and you're not managing your books and keeping those up to date, you're gonna really be stressed out come tax time and come time to get a loan from a bank when you're trying to put together the P&Ls and all that kind of stuff and rent rolls for your banks and lenders. You gotta have a bookkeeper. And while you can do it yourself, we use QuickBooks in our company, or you could have your wife do it. Katie does do it. She's paid to do it. And she's just does it for one of our companies because it's a small holding company that we have. But for all of our other businesses, we actually have a bookkeeping firm that we use, and they're phenomenal. What's really cool about it is QuickBooks links to all your bank accounts. It funnels all that information in. They go ahead and categorize the different classes as necessary. And at the end of the month, across the 9 or 10 companies that we own, I get an email, and it's got a list of all the things that the transactions that the bookkeeper isn't 100% sure about. And then we just go through it once a month and handle that. So bookkeeper, huge. Highly recommend having one. Very simple thing to do. If you got any questions on a good bookkeeper, or what a bookkeeper should be able to do, hit me up, let me know. But that's number 1. Number 2, gotta have a good CPA tailored to your business. Now, I would also add on there and recommend a tax strategy and consulting CPA firm. Now, what's the difference between a tax strategist and a CPA? Well, they're kind of similar in that the tax strategist planner is a CPA, but all CPAs are not tax strategy or tax planners. Does that make sense? So we have hired out a killer CPA firm that we love and have used extensively, and has been super awesome for our company. The company that we use is Integrated Financial Group, and the reason we use them is for a couple reasons. 1, they're awesome. 2, it's a subscription-based and a membership-only type of thing. So you actually get onboarded with these guys, and then it's a monthly subscription. So instead of getting at the end of tax time and you get this, you know, $2, $3, $5, $10, $20 or more $1,000 bill for your tax prep and all this stuff, and you don't really know how much it's going to cost, you know up front 12 months ahead of time what it's going to cost, and you can pay for it up front and get a pretty good discount, or you can pay for it monthly over, you know, the course of the year, which is pretty cool for planning purposes. The other cool thing about a tax strategist, and really the important part of them, is that they not only do your taxes, because any CPA could do the taxes, but what they're not going to do that an actual tax strategist is going to do is they're going to actually give you recommendations. And we have quarterly and on-call as needed phone cons or emails that we, and we'll just sit down. I actually just a couple days ago spent an hour on the phone with our CPA firm, Sean, and we were talking about a couple questions I had in a syndication we had done up in Indiana as far as tax implications and cost segregations and stuff like that, payroll stuff, all that stuff that they are able to not only answer questions on, but then actually give recommendations on what they, based off of our business, how we can be more efficient or be as efficient as possible, and then how we can actually use some strategies that we might not even know about to increase our profitability in our business. And that's really cool. So awesome group, and a very, very important thing to have. At a minimum, you got to have a CPA, and there's nothing wrong with having just a CPA, but I recommend if you're getting into this business long term, you got to have somebody who actually can do some tax strategy, tax planning for you. That's not just a monkey doing the books. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is going to be that person that we love to hate is an attorney. You got to have an attorney. Now, there's many different types of attorneys, different practices and things like that. So you got to know what you're using for. And they're not, all attorneys though, they're going to save your butt. As much crap as people give, as much hate as they get in the news and the media and in movies and things like that as being these slimy snakes, just like any business, there are some of those, but these guys are critical in making sure that your business is protected in several ways. If you got to do an eviction, yeah, you could go through and spend $400 for all the documents, everything, and go to court and sit in court and talk to the judge, and then the case gets kicked back because you didn't have your T's crossed, your I's dotted right, and now that tenant gets to stay in there another month rent free. Yeah, you could do it that way, or you could just hire an attorney to go do it, pay him $700, $800, $900 right off the bat. Yeah, it's a little bit more cost-wise, but that's it. Hey, you attorney, go do this, and they get it done. Contracts, man, we're buying multi-million-dollar properties. In commercial real estate, it's buyer beware. If you screw something up, there's no contingencies. There's very few protections against a commercial real estate buyer. So you got to make sure your contracts are airtight, solid. And where an attorney in this instance comes into play is they're very, very good at understanding the state and local laws, real estate laws surrounding contracts and contingencies and things like that. So we have them write the contract. Now, we'll get the property under contract with an LOI or something like that and have basic terms, but then we'll send it to the attorney. We say, hey, this is what we want. This is what we need to have written into there. And they'll write all the legal, jargon, and then we'll have a good product, to at least a template or a starting point to go back and forth with the sellers or buyers, and if we're selling, right? And then it gets redlined and modified here and there, and then eventually we get a finalized contract that both parties have looked at and our attorney has definitely poured over and put time into. Now, it does cost money because they're paid on an hourly basis, but I mean, you have the potential to make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of mistakes if you do this wrong. So that's 100% worth paying for and having on your team. All right, so that's number 3. Number 4 is going to be good contractors. Now, obviously, in the real estate world, which is where I spend most of my time, it's going to be the laborers type of contractors. So GCs, plumbers, electricians, flooring guys, painters, things like that. But if you run a software company and you need to subcontract or sub out IT or HR or whatever it is, you gotta have a good contractor to provide that service. Right? I mean, and technically your bookkeeper, your CPA, and your attorney, they're all contractors as well. So you've got to make sure that these people that are in your corner, that are, in this case, what I'm talking about, doing the physical labor on your properties, that you don't have to babysit them. And so when you get those guys, take care of them and treat them well, and keep them busy, keep feeding them deals, keep feeding them properties, and keep feeding them work to do, because they are going to be the core of your success. They're basically the fuel for your fire, man. Like, if you don't have good contractors, you can really get screwed, and not only in losing money, but losing time and losing mental bandwidth, because you're having to split time focusing on that. Any good entrepreneur, any real estate investor has had really, really good contractors. They've had some really, really bad ones, and they've had a smattering in between. But a good contractor can absolutely be make your business just boom. We had an example. We just we're getting ready to close on a property that we closed last month and never saw it. Full gut rehab. Now, it was a mobile home, but it was almost 1,700 square feet, and they got the thing completely done in about 3 weeks, and it looks absolutely incredible. You wouldn't know if they dropped you inside the house that it was a mobile home. It looks incredible. Really great countertops, awesome floors, all that stuff. And I've never met the contractor. I talked to him on the phone, but I didn't have to do anything but pick out the colors and pick out the styles of, flooring, paint, and cabinets. Other than that, it was pretty much all automatic, and we're gonna make a pretty good profit on that, and we were able to get it to the market really quick. So that's the value of having that contractor. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed those 4 tips for de-stressing your business. I'd really like to know what you guys do, or what you guys have done to de-stress your business. Or what I'd really like to know is, what have you guys done that's been a big kind of, elephant in the room that you guys have been able to overcome through automating or delegating to an outside source to make your company more efficient, to make it much more enjoyable to be an owner of. So I'd really like to hear that from you guys, and I think it'd be really beneficial for everybody watching this video to see, and including myself. So anyway, go ahead and comment below if you would, or hit me up on my Facebook page or on my phone, whatever it is. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that I can get you these videos right away, and you get notified, and we can spread the word and get other people that are trying to get into real estate, or that are already in it and trying to grow their business and create that generational wealth, and achieve that financial freedom, so we can get that word out there. Again, I really appreciate having you guys here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and until next time, here's to your wealth.